Mm, Jake Paul, man, Jake Paul, that dude's that dude got dynamite in those hands, man. That was a pretty impressive knockout. We do have to take into consideration that Tyron Woodley took this fight on 2 weeks' notice, maybe underestimating Jake Paul, but Jake Paul didn't come in shape. It wasn't like Jake Paul was in there, dancing circles around him. He might have even been losing the fight. Who knows? But he just got slept, dude. Just one punch knockout. And it was as impressive as any knockout this year. It's in the running for knockout of the year. Like, I know it sounds funny. I know it sounds funny that like I'm saying that, but it's the truth. It's the truth. Yo, Michael Blunt, you're crazy. Joel, our people just got set back 50. Yo, yo, Michael, you a fool for that one. You a fool for that one, man. We're not gonna talk about race and nothing. Oh, I gotta put that back up. That was funny. Yo, Michael, you the man. Yo, I haven't even put the link in the chat, but but getting back to my point before this dude said that. Yo, it's in the running for knockout of the year, brother. It's in the running for knockout of the year. Nah. That shit seemed real. Not gonna lie. That's what he's saying. Nah, bro. That was not rigged. Man, that was a knockout. He got hit right here. Like it's kind of like underneath your ear, but like where your jaw meets. Just put your finger here. Look, where just press against that and see how much that hurt. Imagine somebody who's been training to hit as hard as they can right here. That can knock anybody out. And he caught him flush, flush. He caught him as he was trying to get his hand down. And he just caught him. It was clean. It was not 1 inch of it was to the center. It was such an accurate punch. I can't believe I'm giving this detailed breakdown of a Jake Paul knockout, but yo, that's what it was. He knocked him square out. That was a real knockout. That's a real knockout. That yo, man, yo, I can't believe it. I can't believe I'm saying what I'm saying, but that's exactly what I'm saying. This dude he scored a crazy knockout. And we could talk about everything else that happened today, but that's honestly that's probably gonna be what the show is mostly about today. You know what I'm saying? It's probably gonna be what the show is mostly about. I pinned, by the way, I pinned the link to the chat. So if you guys want to call in, you guys can call in as soon as possible. I don't care. Don't let me warm up if y'all don't want to. Yeah. That was a real knockout for sure. It's just crazy because I didn't think Jake Paul was gonna do that. Yeah, yo, bro. What's crazy about it is me and my boy, we're texting. Me and my boy Johnny, he's texting me like, yo, this is a waste of time. I can't believe I bought this fight, shit like that. And I'm like, damn, man. Anytime somebody tells me they're not enjoying a boxing experience, I almost feel responsible because I'm the boxing guy amongst my friends. A lot of my friends are just casual fans. They'll text me, yo, what do you think of this guy? Yo, I never heard of this guy. Is he any good? You know what I'm saying? So anytime somebody's not enjoying their boxing experience, I always take it like a little bit personal, like from a friend level. So I'm like, damn man, he's not enjoying the fight. And then boom, scores a knockout. I called him afterward. He's like, yo, what a fucking knockout. It's crazy. Oh shit, that shit was crazy. He was just saying, like, oh, but just let him know that he's not ready for Canelo or fucking, none of these dudes that he's been calling out lately. I'm like, of course, like, no way he's ready for those guys. But man, that was a knockout, man. That was an impressive knockout from a guy that for whatever reason you guys hate. You guys hate that he's doing this, but the reason I'm like I can't hate too much, yo, he's doing it against elite athletes. If I'm not mistaken, he never had any amateur experience. He just kind of picked it up late. So these elite athletes, former basketball players, former MMA fighters, they're also picking it up late. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like he has a crazy distinct advantage. Yo, and he's knocking them out. I believe he knocked out Ben Askren, another MMA fighter, and then he knocked out another YouTuber. I don't know. I can't keep track, honestly. But point is, yo, he's sleeping these dudes. He's not just a barrage of punches. He's knocking these dudes out cold. He knocked out Nate Robinson cold. He knocked out Ben Askren cold, but he knocked him out pretty good where he kind of stiffened him on his way down, and then just knocked out Woodley out cold. These are all elite athlete, professional athletes who were paid by their company to perform in an athletic performance. And this guy was a YouTuber, like I'm a YouTuber. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's really knocking people out cold. You got to give him credit. Like, listen, the fight was trash, was hot trash before that. But we're not even talking about it. We're talking about how spectacular of a knockout that was. That's what we're here sitting talking about. I mean, I look, Max Sage, he said he's annoying. I mean, the thing is, he's annoying, but you don't think at a certain point, I know it's gonna sound crazy. At a certain point, Muhammad Ali wasn't annoying. Like he over here talking mad trash, talking about he would knock people out. Like this guy, and especially when he was doing it to Sonny Liston, he was looked at such as like an underdog. So when he was talking shit to Sonny Liston, it looked like stupid. Like, yo, bro, you're gonna get slapped. And then he came out and won and actually stopped Sonny Liston. So you can almost compare that. Like, you know, Jake Paul right now is annoying, but he's scoring knockouts. He's winning. Eventually, you're just gonna have to just pay attention. And he was trying to fight Tommy Fury. It was Tommy Fury who pulled out. So it's not like he's not trying to fight the best. I mean, like somebody like a real fighter. He fought two MMA fighters, and then they wanted you guys wanted him to step it up to a boxer. He was going to fight Tommy Fury. Now, if he would have beat Tommy Fury, you guys would have made an excuse. He's just a pretty boy. He was just living off his brother's name. But point is, he's challenging himself and he's getting knockouts, man. He only went to decision once, and it was with Tyron Woodley, which, again, an elite athlete. And then he made up for it because he got the knockout this time. Yo, I don't know, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. He's knocked out Deji. I don't know who's that. I'm assuming that's just another YouTuber. So yeah, all right. You making my point. Whatever. I already pretty much just addressed that. A lot of people hated Ali back then. Yeah, I know Dave Martinez. Oh, by the way, Dave Martinez, if you want to call in, the link is pinned to the top of the chat. You just click the link, it'll take you to a website. And if you're smart enough, you'll figure it out and call me here. But yeah. Nah, I think Tommy Fury on his resume is decent. But yeah, and he was gonna fight him. That's my point. It wasn't like he pulled out. He said he had a rib, and we just saw Tommy Fury fight. No, no, no. We saw Jake Paul fight, and he scored a one punch savage knockout. That's possibly a knockout of the year. It's crazy in front of a packed house too. In front of a packed house, and who knows how much on pay-per-view. I bet you this pay-per-view did better than the Tank and Crawford pay-per-views. And I'm not condoning it. I'm not saying that's a good thing, but I'm just saying, like, I bet you that's the case. And what's crazy is this is gonna be top 10 on Sports Center. When's the last time we had a savage knockout? I mean, I guess the Miguel Burchelt knockout. Oh no, I mean, I'm talking about, yeah, only championship fights, excluding the Jake Paul fight. We had, I guess, the knockout of Deontay Wilder was pretty sick, but it was good only because he just beat him up the whole fight. So like when Wilder went all the way down, it wasn't that he was out cold. It was just he was just beaten up so bad, if that makes sense. But the knockout of Burchelt was pretty good. I mean, yeah. I would love to see him fight Tommy Fury. I'm actually now curious for this fight. I look at this fight kind of like as I watch an amateur fight. Like I watch the amateurs sometimes just on YouTube, those AIBA tournaments. I watch fucking Colombia versus Russia. I watch some super shit like that. And I just kind of, just for my entertainment, or if I want to do my research on the fighter. Like that's how sometimes I know who's gonna be good just off what I've seen in the amateurs. And that's kind of how I look at this Jake Paul shit. It's kind of like something I just watch on the side, like just to see what's going on. And it's, hey, to be honest, I left entertained. I know it was a pay-per-view and people want to say, "Oh, did you get your money's worth?" I found the Ron Williams Frank Gore fight entertaining. The first fight, I was flicking through that fight and the David Morrel fight, and I pretty much watched most of the David Morrel fight. What I did see of the first fight, it was pretty boring. The Mendes Serrano fight, I actually missed, which is one of the undercards I really, really wanted to see. But I heard she went to decision and pretty much dominated this girl. I was hoping she got the knockout because the girl that she fought went to decision with Katie Taylor, and if she could have got the knockout, she could have had bragging rights leading up to their fight. Like, yeah, the girl you went to decision with, I knocked her out. You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, it didn't go that way. But from what I heard, she dominated every single round, which I'm happy. Yeah. I was watching Ramirez Gonzalez fight, but I'll definitely check out this knockout. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, by the way, there was a lot of fights today. So if you guys call in and there's certain fights that I didn't see, forgive me, but there was fights in fucking London, fights in LA, fights in Texas, Tampa, which is Florida, or where else? It was a lot of fights today, so I kind of had to like manage which way I was gonna see. I had to sacrifice some fights. Like I didn't see the Zurdo Ramirez Yunieski Gonzalez fight. I saw some of it, and what I saw, honestly, I didn't like in terms of what I saw from Zurdo. Zurdo's looked a bit slow, looked a bit like predictable, and he looked unathletic, is what I want to say. How he looked, but whatever. Either way, I can't really judge it because I just saw like a round, 2 rounds, and you can't really judge a fight of 2 rounds. I think I saw like the fourth and the fifth or something like that. I could be wrong, but yeah. So there's a lot of fights that I didn't see. But I'm if you guys want to call in or write in the chat, as if you guys want to talk about Joseph Parker versus Chisora or David Morrell or Richardson Hitchens, my Brooklyn native. Who else? There's a lot of fights. Gongora lost. You guys want to talk about that? Were you guys high on Carlos Gongora? There's a lot of fights today. But again, the hot topic today is that Jake Paul knockout. Some people calling it knockout of the year. Knockout of the year. Can you believe that? Can you believe he turned in a legit argument for knockout of the year? That's insane. That's insane. In his what? That was his fifth pro fight. It's pretty impressive what the kid is doing. He's found a way how to gain attention through another avenue and then monetize it in boxing. And to be honest, it's going good for him. He's making a lot of money. He's making a lot of money. Hold on, Kenny Bonilla, my brother. Kenny Bonilla, knockout of the year? I don't know. I'm making a video this coming week. This coming week, I'm gonna start doing that. I'm gonna make a video, knockout of the year, prospect of the year, fight of the year. So a lot of these questions that you guys are asking me, I can't answer. Nothing that ends in of the year. I've I'm gonna answer. No round of the year. I can't even think. I don't really. I guess next year I'm gonna have to be more mindful of what I think is round of the year. But this year I'm not doing round of the year, but I'm doing knockout of the year, prospect of the year, fight of the year, and yeah, those three: prospect of the year, fight of the year, and knockout of the year. Those are the three I'm doing. Give me you guys knockout of the year. Is it Jake Paul? Do you guys got Jake Paul as the knockout of the year? Let me know in the chat, man. I'll put you up. Oh man, I like this dude. I swear, Michael Blunt's like my little brother, man. He only 19. That's my little brother. Fuck it. Jake Paul versus Chavez Jr. Yo, for real, man. That's a good fight. That's a good fight. Meaning in a sense, like, it's a good way to get Jake Paul in with a boxer, but somebody he could beat. Chavez Jr. is fucking done, bro. He lost to Anderson Silva. Whoa, you that's who he should fight next. Anderson Silva beat Chavez Jr. And Anderson Silva scored a really savage one punch uppercut knockout of Tito Ortiz. Yo, you just Michael Blunt. That's my little brother, man. Forever. Yo, that's your new nickname. Every time you come on my shit, I'm calling you my little brother. That's it. My little brother Michael. Because I have a brother named Michael. He's older than me, but really I treat him like my little brother. So from now on, you Michael Blunt, you my little brother. Anyways, yeah, nah. Yeah, this is the fight. That's the next fight that needs to happen. And he was a goat. He's a goat in the UFC. Like Ben Askren was a good like fighter, whatever, and but he wasn't better than Tyron Woodley in the UFC world. Tyron Woodley was actually a world champion, possibly a Hall of Famer. All right, so you beat him. Now you beat Anderson Silva, possibly. Let's say you beat he's one of the greatest MMA fighters of all time, and you beat him. On top of the fact that you beat you could really, really like create a whole big buzz off that, a big ass buzz. Yo, that's the fight right there. Anderson Silva versus Jake Paul next. Yo, I would pay. I would buy that shit on pay per view. And not for nothing, Jake Paul knows how to put on a decent undercard to keep us entertained. I was entertained by the Frank Gore Deron Williams fight. I'm being honest with you. I really was. Also, uh, I fucking missed the Amanda Serrano fight. I was so angry. I can't really explain why I missed the fight, but I didn't miss the fight. But for what I hear, it was good. And I know I would have been entertained because I know Amanda personally. And seeing somebody I know personally fight, and I have like a legit rooting interest because I know her. So I would have enjoyed that fight anyways. And then the first fight was those two undefeated junior lightweight, junior welterweights, which I saw some of it. I didn't get to see all of it because I was watching the Morrel fight on Fox. Oh, hold on, I got a call. Carlos, what up, brother?
What's up, man?
Oh, yeah. What's going on, brother?
Nah, man, it's I just had to watch what just happened. I'm a little sad, to say the least. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know what to say, bro. That was crazy.
Yo, crazy ain't the
And
fucking
bro,
word.
cause we've only known each other for a couple of weeks, and I've always told you that I've been more of an MMA fan. And let me give you a quick rundown. Like Woodley, I've never said this. I told you about him, how he was a champion. He was a great fighter, but lately he's been losing. Bro, Woodley was he's one of my favorite fighters. I just never said nothing. He was one of my favorite fighters coming from the UFC in 2017, 2018, when he knocked out Robbie Lawler to become a UFC champion, when he fucking had so many good fights and shit, bro, in the UFC, winning his titles and everything. And then he started losing over and over in the UFC. He got released. He fought Jake Paul, lost that, and now he got knocked out, bro. It's tough, bro. It's tough. It's fucking tough, man. The way he got knocked out too, bro. Like, what
Yo,
the
but
fuck?
but when you say it's tough, what do you mean by that?
I don't know, bro. Just seeing the memes and shit, bro. It's kind of just embarrassing to be a fan of his now, bro.
No, all right. So no, what I'm saying, you're embarrassed from being an MMA fan or being like a boxing fan.
Being an MMA fan and being a Woodley fan in particular,
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like, damn, look where our legends are going to fucking go and ruin their
bro.
legacy, getting
This
knocked
dude
out
was a
by
world.
YouTube.
This dude was a world fucking champion 3 years ago, while Jake Paul was
And then
fighting a
this year he
YouTuber
getting
three
knocked
years
out
ago,
by a YouTuber.
bro.
But that's the thing, y'all don't pay y'all fighters enough. Y'all MMA do your UFC don't be paying their fighters enough. Why you don't see McGregor fucking fighting all these dudes? Because when he fought Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? Like if Woodley was fighting Mayweather and got knocked out like that, it wouldn't be a big deal. But now you got all these MMA guys fighting a YouTuber, fighting basketball players. Like that shit looks bad for y'all sport because you know they only doing it for money, and you don't see boxers really doing like as of late. Like our boxers now are very well taken care of because of Al Heyman and all these and the Zone. They've really given out big checks.
Yeah, bro. Nah, like it's just crazy, bro. Because like 3 years ago, I was cheering Woodley winning his UFC title. Still being a champion, and then he loses to Kamaru Usman. It's like all right, and then he loses to Gilbert Burns. All right, whatever. And then he loses to Kobe Covington. Okay, cool. And then he loses to fucking Luke. All right, whatever, man.
Yo,
It
this dude's
sucks,
a certified loser, bro. He's a
bro.
certified
Like
loser.
it
Because he
fucking
even lost
sucks,
the
bro.
first fight, and he could have won the first fight had he
He
pressed
could
the
have,
action a little
yeah.
bit.
I mean,
So,
even this fight, it was somewhat competitive up until Jake Paul just fucking sparked him from consciousness, man. Like that
bro,
was that was scary, man. That was scary,
the dude, he looks so like embarrassed afterwards. Like he
bro. Like I
really got
know, man.
knocked out.
Like I mean, because it was bad, bro. Like I mean, even if he lost the decision, like it is what it is. Still
Yo,
embarrassing
bro, yeah,
because he got
I
put
can't
to
imagine him going
sleep,
back to a boxing gym or going to a MMA gym to just train. Like they joking in the locker room about that shit.
bro. Like
Like,
even now, man, I'm still like, fuck, bro. Because like obviously, like I said, I'm a Woodley fan and everything. Even though lately it's been tough, just seeing him, losing like this and stuff. But like, bro, this one was bad, man. I hope honestly he doesn't fight no more. Like he's already
yeah,
40 years
nah,
old.
nah. After
He
this, he need
got
to
his money.
retire, bro. He's
Fuck
he's
off, man.
38, 39. I
He's
think he's
39, bro.
39.
He's almost 40.
Yeah, so you 39. You've been not has he gotten knocked out in MMA?
He got knocked out against Nate Marquardt. Just like what's it called? He's an MMA fighter. He's a veteran. It was like
Yeah,
2 years
yeah.
ago,
All
like
right.
a
So how many
long
times
ass
he been
time
knocked out?
ago.
How many times he been knocked out?
He's only been knocked out once. He got
All right.
technically TKO'd by Colby Covington, but it was
All right.
more of like an injury to rib, so it's not really a knockout. But
Well,
nah,
nah,
this one
that's
was
a
fucking
TKO.
bad.
Somebody breaks your rib and you can't fight.
I mean, yeah, but it's not like like it was not that bad, and plus, it wasn't like hitting with the body shot. It was more of like
Man, you
they were
just
on
a
like
Woodley fan. If somebody breaks your ribs and you can't fight because of that, you got stopped. So he's been knocked out 3 times. He needs to retire.
yeah. I
Like
mean,
that's
like
it. Yo, bro, and having your ribs broken is a very serious thing. Like that shit
yeah,
protects your lungs. You know what I'm
nah,
saying?
yeah, nah, yeah. I mean, it's pretty weird because like he broke his rib, but it's not like it was a body shot. It was like they were on the ground and like I don't know what the fuck happened. He just like, oh, my rib, my rib, my
Yeah,
rib, my rib, and
that's
the fight
that.
stopped immediately.
Yeah, that's why I can't fuck with MMA, bro. I like I mean like I can fuck with it that like on a casual sense, on some
I mean,
like
shit.
I
There's
can't
less.
watch it like follow it because yo, once they get on the ground, I don't like that shit, man. I'll be like, yo, they're fighting for position. And oh look, he's sweaty. That's why he's slipping off of him. I'm like, when they
Yeah,
standing up and kicking each other and fucking punching and spinning back kicks and all that shit, I'm a fan of that shit for sure.
yeah.
I'm not a
Like,
fan of the choking or the arm locks, or I'm not a fan of none of that. And yo, like the first Usman Masvidal fight, Usman had Masvidal pinned to the ring, the cage and was stomping on his foot for the whole fight. I'm like, yo, I
that
don't
was
want to see
fucking.
that shit.
That was gay as shit when he was doing that, man.
Yeah, I'm like,
Like,
yo, now to be fair, he made up in the second fight when he knocked him Spark out. But point
knocked him
is,
out, and
yeah,
it's
point
even.
is, when they standing up, yo, MMA is one of the most beautiful sports there is. But when they on the ground and shit and hugging and holding and spinning and choking each other out, I'm not a fan of that shit.
Yeah, for me, it's like
Although in a real fight, that's probably what would win most. Like if you
definitely.
could just pick one practice, I would pick jujitsu just because I know if somebody attacks me, I can always choke them out. Like so in a real fight, I get the tactic of it. But in a as for entertainment value, I don't like that shit. I like when they standing up, kicking each other, blow, them hard leg kicks, blow.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, them shits hurt. I
Yeah.
play football. I've been kicked in the leg sometimes on accident, sometimes on purpose, and that shit fucking hurts.
Definitely. Like I've never been the biggest fan of grappling either. I at least accept it if like at least you're doing something. You get a submission or you're beating the shit out of someone. But if you're just laying and praying and just getting control time, it's like come on, bro. Like do
No, the
something with
thing
it,
is
man.
that yo, the best
Elbow him in the fucking dome.
now the thing is that the best MMA fights somewhat resemble boxing. So you see what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So that's why I just rather watch boxing, because in boxing you're either gonna get a good fight or a bad fight. Is this, in MMA you might get a fucking terrible fight because the dude just wants to pin somebody to the cage and step on his foot, or it's a grappling mess, and I'm like, oh man, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But
So my
like, did you
boy,
actually watch the fight,
I, which fight?
the Woodley versus Jake Paul? Because like, I
Yeah, I
thought you were
saw that shit. Yo,
yeah,
bro, that's what the show's about, man.
yeah, nah. Because I thought like when you're talking to somebody, you were saying how like what's it called? Someone was telling me it was close, so I didn't think you actually watched it. Which I thought you just saw the knockout. But like,
Nah, nah, I
yeah,
saw
bro.
the fight. No, no, I was saying, I was like, yeah, I guess it was close. Like, kind of like, I don't even know who was winning. Like, those
Me neither.
rounds were some of the hardest rounds to score. I'm glad it was a knockout, because them scorecards would have been all over the place, and I honestly don't know who was winning. Like, neither of them really did anything. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, bro. But
There was only one round where I could clearly give it to Woodley, and that was the round where he cut Jake Paul with the headbutt.
yeah.
After that, it was I really couldn't tell you who won any other rounds, but except the knockout round.
Definitely. Yeah, bro. I mean, it just sucks, bro, because it's like, as a Willie fan, just seeing all this shit and
Oh,
now,
hold on. My man Devin just let me know. The judges had it 3-2 for Jake Paul, 4-1 for Jake Paul, and 4-1 for Jake Paul. So Jake Paul
yeah.
was winning on all three scorecards. I don't know
Yeah.
how. I like, to be honest, I guess I really don't know how do you give any round to, like, either of those guys, except that one round that was clearly Woodley's. It
Yeah.
was a terrible fight. It was a
It
terrible,
was.
terrible fight with a
Yeah.
fantastic knockout, which proves that we need more knockouts in boxing, because when you get a
Yeah.
knockout like that, people don't talk about how shitty the fight was.
Yeah. I mean, bro, yeah, I mean, it was a close fight leading up to it. I thought it would even go to a decision. Woodley was kind of roughing him up a little bit, kind of pushing the pace a little bit more. And
Yeah.
just out of fucking nowhere, man, just Jake Paul
Yeah,
sparks him.
to be honest, like me, I'm a fan that likes to see skill, and like, seeing this fight was like torture to me, man.
It
Like, there
was,
was
yeah.
no jabs, no setting up, no body shots from either fighter. It was no angles, no nothing. It was just kind of like two guys who kind of knew how to fight, So, like, that shit pissed me the fuck off. But other than that, the knockout made up for it. Yeah, like, I was like, whoa, like, all right, that's what I'm gonna go live. I was debating not going live. I was like, man, this fight gonna end a decision. I'm not gonna go live. Nobody's gonna call in. There's not gonna be no boom. And then he got the knockout. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go live.
Yeah. And I immediately, once he went live, I was like, all right, I'm gonna just say what I have to say because like I don't really have that many. I only have really one person to talk to about like this kind of stuff. Like most of my family and stuff, they don't really care about that stuff. They don't really fuck with any of this shit because for them it's kind of hard to watch. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna come talk to my boy Broadway Joel. I'm gonna talk about this shit that just happened. And yeah, I mean, bro, I mean,
Yeah, we even talked a little bit of MMA and everything.
yeah, definitely. I mean, even though MMA is my favorite sport, obviously I still fucking love boxing. I might
No,
not
no,
be high knowledge,
you've
but
never heard me talk bad about MMA. Like, I always tell you, I'm an MMA fan. I'm just a casual fan. Like, I don't watch every single one. There's some fights where I'm like, fuck, I have to go watch that shit.
yeah,
I'll even miss a boxing fight if I like an MMA fight as much. But like, lately, there hasn't been nothing that really caught my attention. I mean, the fight with Usman and Covington.
bro, that
I'm
was crazy, man. I
no,
saw that fight. What's it called? Did you watch that fight?
yeah, man. That's what I'm telling you. Like, a fight like that, I'll watch. But
Yeah, I thought Covington won that fight maybe towards the end, but that was a crazy fight, man.
uh,
Definitely,
but my brother, yo, I appreciate you calling all the time and always showing your support, brother.
for sure, man. You take care, and all the success still towards your page. I see your page growing, man. It's
Thank you,
lit.
thank you. Hit
So
that
yeah,
like
man.
button. Hit that like button.
No problem, bro. For sure.
Hi, brother. Thanks. All right, guys. If you guys want to call in, you guys already know. Just click the link on top of the chat, and I could get you on. Yo, what's good, Joel? Jake Paul needs to start fighting boxers. No more MMA fighters. Nah, my man. Nah, bro. Yo, bro, you wasn't excited? You wasn't excited tonight after that fucking knockout? Let him keep knocking motherfuckers out, bro. Why? Everybody wants him to get knocked out. Nah, man. Yo, don't ruin my golden goose, man. Yo, that's how I'm talking now. Fuck it. He's my golden goose. Yo, listen, the fight to make right now is Jake Paul versus Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva just beat Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Is Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. anything to be taken serious? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But then he also just knocked out Tito Ortiz, a MMA legend. You know, knocked him out pretty spark out. Also, Anderson Silva was one of the most popular UFC fighters, like by far, and probably in a lot of people's mind, the greatest MMA fighter. You know, it's some people say that, not it's not the consensus. So you put him, no matter how old he is, against Jake Paul, you don't think that like that would sell? Yo, Dana White would fucking hate that. All his legends retire, go over there and get knocked out by Jake Paul. You imagine? But yo, that's and Anderson Silva got skills, man. That's not me being funny. Yo, Anderson Silva got hands. Even though he beat Chavez, and Chavez ain't shit, he still showed skills. When he knocked out Tito Ortiz, that was a super pretty sharp uppercut that he knocked him out with. So he definitely has really good boxing skills, and he even was talking about boxing Roy Jones like 10 years ago or something. I remember that. And they were talking and Roy Jones said he's willing to do one MMA, one boxing. And then there was kind of talks about it, but it never went through. But my point is that he's always had his mind, kind of like in the back of his head, like, I want to box. And this could be if Anderson Silva knocks out Jake Paul, everything Jake Paul is right now, he can take and actually pursue an actual boxing career. And I know he's older. I know that. But I see him and how he celebrated after beating Chavez Jr. I saw that. I'm like, that guy still got a lot of fight in him. He didn't take a lot of punches, like he had a good career. That again, that's the next fight for me. He can fight uh Anderson Silva, and if Jake Paul beats him, then you go with Tommy Fury because there's unfinished business there. You see, and you're still keeping him at a level where it's not too high where you get him hurt, but you gradually stepping him up. That's what I would do with the Golden Goose. That's my new nickname for him, the Golden Goose. Only thing I like about the Paul brothers is that they bring in new people to boxing and women are getting recognition they deserve. Exactly, man. Yo, I love the fact that my girl Amanda, she's getting that bag. She fucking with Jake Paul. She's getting a big bag of money every time she fight. And I heard from a reliable source that she's getting 7 figures for her fight with Katie Taylor. Can you imagine that, bro? A woman from Brooklyn, New York, getting $1 million in the sport of boxing? Yo, like, and all that was made possible because of Jake Paul. So, like, I appreciate that. This was a poor girl, poor Puerto Rican girl from Brooklyn, and through the osmosis of fucking with Jake Paul, now she's about to get $1 million check for fighting Katie Taylor, undisputed. Yo, as long as Amanda's career has been going on, she's been an amazing fighter. She's a future Hall of Famer, I believe 7-time weight division, but she's never been undisputed. So fucking with Jake Paul, not only is she about to get $1 million, she's also gonna fight for the undisputed world championship. So she's getting the bag and the legacy. Like, we got to put some respect on that on what he's doing for the sport. He is bringing attention to the women. He's also in his effort trying to bring a attention to like these kind of like athlete fights, basketball player versus NFL player. That could be something cool that he puts on his undercard. It might be like that. It might be one real fight. That might be his motto: one real fight. Because we had 2 undefeated junior welterweights as the starter. Whether it was a good fight or not, that's for you to say. But it was 2 undefeated fighters in their prime. On the first fight, it was a real fight. Then it was kind of like a circus fight, an NBA player versus an NFL player. And then you had women fighting, which and Amanda Serrano is an elite athlete, and some people are into it, some people are not. But for the people that are into that, there was that. And then for the people that are into the YouTuber knocking out MMA fighters, that's the main event. That's the main event. Even though Jake's a little annoying, always had respect for him and knew his boxing ability is legit. I don't know about his boxing ability, man. His boxing ability was terrible, man. I was at the first whatever the whole fight was boring and there was a lot of holding and there was no footwork, no head movement, no body work. The fight was trash. Like the fight as a whole was trash, but it ended with a sensational one punch knockout. And when you do something like that, you can say his power is legit. And I think his power is legit. You don't score that many one punch knockouts and your power not be legit against elite athletes who are on your level because you just took a boxing and they just took a boxing. So you're knocking these guys out with one punch. Yo, Jake, you gotta put respect on him, man. Yo, Joel, forgot to say, do you see the WBA tweet that Stanonius has agreed to Butiev for the regular title and Ugas and Spence will unify? I have. Yo, my little brother Michael, yeah, I love you, Michael. That's my little brother. Just reminded me the WBA, who I fucking despise, I hate that organization, has just announced that Errol Spence will fight your Dennis Ugas in his comeback fight. And Ugas mandatory Stanionis is taking step aside money. You just got breaking news. Shout out to my little brother Michael. So we're gonna get a 3-belt welterweight championship fight when Errol Spence comes back and fights your Dennis Ugas. And then you know who has the remaining belt? It will be Terrence Bud Crawford. That fight right there will be for undisputed when it happens. And hopefully, it will be in the second half of next year. Because I'm sure this fight against your Dennis Ugas and Earl Spence probably be sometime in March, April, I want to say. And then the Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence fight could be sometime in August. Like that's yo, hold on. Shout out to my man Jay, my Brooklyn brother. This is the golden era shit, man. The golden era, we going undisputed, bro. Listen, we got Usyk undisputed. We had Terrence Crawford undisputed, Teofimo undisputed, Josh Taylor undisputed, Canelo undisputed. And now you tell me, let's say Errol Spence beats Ugas, Crawford beats whoever he fights next. Let's say it's Virgil Ortiz. There's no rumors. I'm making that up. And now they go for undisputed. Whew, both undefeated, both in their prime. That's never happened. It's never happened for the undisputed two undefeated future Hall of Famers. Oh my God, bro. Yo, bro, they could charge me $150 for that fucking pay-per-view. If they make it that fight for undisputed and they both still undefeated, I will pay $150 for that pay-per-view. That's a fucking oh my god! That like just that little added layer of like, oh, whatever you think of this era as far as with the belts, this fight is for all the marbles, all the fucking marbles. It's led up to this. It's led up to all right. Let's see who's the best, but it all depends on your Errol Spence beating Ugas, who's not an easy fighter. And to be honest, I'm scared that Errol Spence is damaged goods, man. Car accident, eye surgery. There was some footage leaked out of him sparring, getting beat up. So you're getting beat up and sparring. And I know that shit happens. You just have a bad day. But point is, it's like, I don't know if that was just a bad day or if that was just a regular day in the life of Errol Spence, just getting beat up. I don't know. I don't know. He needs to. That's why I switched my pick from Errol Spence to Crawford. I used to always say Errol Spence was better. I used to be like, Errol Spence gonna win, and I was taking bets ahead of time. I'm like, yo, bro, when the fight happens, let's bet $100, and they're like, oh, no, let's bet 1,000. I'm like, all right, so let's bet. But oh no, once the fight's made, that's how people talk. So, and then the fight never got made, and then all this shit happens, and I'm like, I don't know if this guy's healthy enough to beat Crawford. Like Crawford out here, so that's how I kind of put it. That's why I switched it. Now I pick Crawford. But again, if he beats Ugas and he does it in a resounding fashion, I would be like, okay, uh, I lost track of what I was saying. Oh yeah, if he beats Ugas in emphatic fashion, I'm talking about Spence, and he can prove back to me that all right, he is the guy to pick over Crawford. But he would again, he has to prove it to me before I can do that. Right now, I don't think he's healthy enough to beat Crawford. That's just my honest opinion. Again, it could change after the Ugas fight. Yo, guys, if you guys want to call in, the link is pinned to the top of the chat. Just click the link; it'll take you to a website. And if you're smart enough, you can be on the phone with me. You know, you know. Ugas sticks with the game plan and wins. Wow. I mean, that wouldn't be good for boxing, to be honest. I mean, if it happens, it happens. There's a rematch clause, and he has to rematch Errol Spence, and then let's say Errol Spence wins, and then Terrence Crawford's gonna be like, yeah, but I'm on the feet. It's like, let's just hope he wins. Crawford fights a good fighter next fight. I want to see him fight a Boots, a Virgil. I really do. Just because his resume has been such in question, even by me, I have him number 4 pound for pound. There's some people who have him number 1. I'm like, I have him number 4. His resume's too weak. So after you beat Porter, be like, all right, now give me one of the young guns. And if I'm him, I tell the WBO, give me 2 double mandatories and give me Virgil Ortiz. He's number 1 in the WBO. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. But as far as Ugas sticking with a game plan and beating Spence, I don't see it. I don't see it. I mean, he does have a good jab, and he does like to make fights ugly. And we saw in the fight with Spence and uh, what's his name, Porter. Like sometimes when it got ugly, it got a little too ugly for him, and he just couldn't handle it. So maybe there's a possibility that way. But again, if Spence is healthy, he dominates Ugas and knocks him out. If he's healthy again, and I don't know if he is. I don't know. I don't know if he is. You think Canelo takes on Beterbiev after the Brown fight? Listen, if Canelo wanted to, Canelo can knock this dude out. Like, I ain't seen nothing in that fight that makes me think like, damn, Canelo can't beat that guy. He's slow, man, and like he's there to be hit. And Canelo is not Marcus Brown, man. Canelo is real, like he's like liquid. He's like, you know, like when he wants to get on his defense shit, like he can. Like I know a lot of people have been criticizing his last performance against Caleb Plant because he got hit a little more often than he does, but he has an iron chin, and Caleb Plant has no punching power. So he kind of allowed Caleb Plant to land some shots. Same thing with the Billy Joe Saunders thing. Billy Joe Saunders not a puncher, so he got touch up with some shots to set up and got the knockout. But yeah, as far as Better Beef is definitely a hard puncher, but Canelo has beat Triple G twice. I mean, he beat Triple G once, had a draw with Triple G, and didn't even get hurt at no point. He didn't even stumble. And then he fought Kovalev, who it wasn't the same Kovalev that fought Ward, but Kovalev is a puncher. He knocked out Anthony Yard. He knocked out a lot of guys just recently, right before that. And it's like he couldn't even hurt Canelo. He gave Canelo trouble, but he ain't hurt him. And also Better Beef is 36. That's when once you pass 35, every year is like, oh, it counts for like maybe 2 years. It's like doom, doom. You really start going downhill once you go past the age 35 for the most part. I don't think Canelo is, if he doesn't fight Better Beef next, is because he doesn't want to. Like it's like Canelo right now could do whatever the fuck he want. Put it like that. He just want undisputed in 11 months. If he wants to move up to cruiserweight and get a belt, I mean, I don't like it, but I'm not going to be too mad at it. But if he wants to fight Andrade, who's going to be moving up, or Charlo, who's going to be moving up, or Triple G for the trilogy, or David Benavidez, or Better Be, he has all the options. Any option he takes, I'm okay with, to be honest with you. And I don't think he's ducking either one. Because if he fights Andrade, they're gonna say he's ducking Better Beef and Charlo. If he fights Charlo, they're gonna say he's ducking Andrade and Better Beef. He can't win. He can't win. That shit is crazy, man. Man, could you imagine though? Spence lost to Ugas and then Crawford lost to Ennis. That fight would be completely in shambles. Yeah, I don't think Crawford would take a Ennis. Like, and not that he's ducking him, it just makes no sense. Like, it's too tough of a risk for a. I mean, I would love it. I would love that fight, but it's too much of a risk when there's a big fight looming. Now, as far as him and Virgil Ortiz is a tough motherfucker. He hits hard, and but I don't think he has the skills and quite the footwork and boxing IQ to fuck with Crawford. I think Crawford picks him apart. I think Crawford, like every other fight, loses the first 5 rounds. You're starting to worry, like, oh my god, is he gonna lose this fight by decision? And then he starts landing his shots, and the guys can't handle his power, and he knocks him out. So that's who I would fight. If I'm Terrence Crawford, I would fight Virgil Ortiz. But to your point, if Spence lost to Ugas and Crawford lost to Ennis, yeah, the fight would be done. The fight would never have the meaning it did. Like, because the thing is, when Pacquiao lost, it did make that fight lose luster with the Mayweather fight, but Mayweather ain't lose, so it didn't lose as much luster as it would have had he lost. So the whole big thing about this fight is going to be two undefeated American fighters, undefeated, possibly for undisputed, is going to have all the uns. And then it's like, and for some people, they're real proud of their race. So for the black race, that's for some of those people, you know, as far as black Americans, they're gonna feel very proud. Like, wow, our two elite athletes. There's something to that. A lot of my friends, they'll express pride when they're talking about certain fighters, even though they made like a Canelo, they made like a fucking Leo Santa Cruz, but they more like their own fighters. They're black fighters. The same way, like some Puerto Ricans, they relate more to the Puerto Rican fighters. It's like it's nothing not normal about that. So there's that element to it. It just will be amazing if that fight gets made. That fight will be amazing. It has, especially if it's for undisputed, two fighters undefeated. They're both American, both black, both in their prime, both, you know, and that fight sells, man. That fight sells. That fight sells. Parker versus Chisora was actually a pretty good fight. Yeah, it was a good fight. It was just crazy. At times I would be like, oh, Chisora is done. Like, he has no energy left in him. He's gonna lose this fight by knockout. And he'll just come back and win the next 30 seconds of the fight, just throwing wild punches. It was pretty entertaining, but kind of it went how I kind of thought it would. I thought that, Parker would hurt Chisora at times, and and then but he wouldn't be able to close the show. And that's kind of how I saw the fight. I didn't make a prediction video for it. I tend not to make prediction videos for British fights, like fights in the UK. I don't know. I guess I got to check myself out. I'm probably being UK racist. I'm being Britishist. I don't know. I'm being a prejudice towards only American fights. But yeah, the fight pretty much went how I thought it would. I don't think we have seen Crawford go all out. I mean, I don't know. We don't know until we see it, right? The thing is that the reason that fight is so interesting, right? So Errol Spence likes to, you know, sometimes read his opponent, but not as much as Crawford. So it makes me think, like, How many rounds does Crawford lose early to Errol Spence? Because he's been getting away with it a lot by scoring knockouts. And like for you to bet that you're gonna knock out Errol Spence late, man, that's a big gamble. I think he would need to start a little quicker. What do you guys think? I don't know. The more and more I think about it, I'm like, that's why I always pick Spence. I'm like, yo, you can't give that many rounds away to Spence. Spence is a very savvy fighter. He knows how to use that really good high guard and not get touched up. They had a super middleweight fight today, and they was calling it a title fight, and I was wondering what title they said. IBO, man, what the fuck? Yeah, that was the Carlos Gongora fight. They that the the IBO in the Europe is a big thing. Like Joshua had it, Lennox Lewis had it, Vladimir Klitschko had it. I think, or even Arthur Abraham had it. Like in Europe, the IBO is actually like somewhat recognized. In America, nobody recognizes that shit. But yeah, in Europe, they recognize it. But that was a decent fight though against Richards. That was a decent fight. Yo, man, yeah. Talk to me in the chat, man. Let me know what y'all want me to talk about. Also, if you want to call in the chat, there's a link pinned to the top of the chat. Just click the link, call in. We can talk about whatever you want. You want to talk about Jake Paul scoring fight knockout of the year? You want to talk about Joseph Parker? Anything you guys want to talk about? Let me know in the chat or call in. Yeah, man. I can't believe it's the end of the year already. I'm like, damn, I gotta make fighter of the year. I gotta make these videos. Not like it's a burden, but more so like me realizing is like, whoa, it's the end of the year. It's crazy. Morrel Jr. looked good today also. Yeah, man. Yo, my little brother, man. Uh the thing is with that fight, with David Morrell versus Alton X5. It was like if David Morrell was 1,000% sure he was going to get the knockout. He looked so relaxed, so confident that he was going to win this fight. And even when he would get, like, let's say, caught with a jab or something, or get caught with a right hand, he would just smile, and it wouldn't be like the smile like, "Oh, you caught me." It would be like, "All right, that was nothing. I'm still gonna knock you out." He just I've never seen somebody look that confident in the ring. And yeah, he got the stoppage against Alton X Fox. So I thought it was a bit quick. His father stopped the fight. Like, I mean, to be fair, he was gonna get knocked out eventually, but at that moment, nothing. He wasn't hurt to the point where that fight needed to be stopped. But David Morrell, man, he's only 23 years old. He's 6-0 with well, I think 5 knockouts, if I'm not mistaken. 5 or 6 knockouts, I don't know. And he's gonna be a player in this super middleweight division in the next 2 years. He's only 23. He's gonna develop. He already has skills, and now he's training with Ronnie Shields, somebody who's trained Rigondeaux, somebody who's trained um Erislandy Lara. Like the dude got skills, man, and you got a great trainer, and you young, and you got power, and you got charisma, and you're super confident in yourself. It's like he has a lot of recipe to 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 be something special in the sport. I'm not saying he is because I did see some flaws in there, and I did see sometimes he rushes work. Like when I was like, oh, if he would have set that up a little bit better, he probably could have landed that super clean instead of getting it blocked. And it's like, I do see some of that, but he's only 23. Once I found out he's only 23, I was like, oh no, this kid got potential. He got super potential. He's ready for a step up. I get he's 5-0, 6-0. He's now 6-0. Now I think, but if you have a secondary title already, you need to step up, and he has the skill for it for sure. No, I agree, but that was a step up, bro. He fought Alton X Fox. Alton X Fox had a draw with Frank Galarza. He was 28-2 coming in, like something crazy like that. Let me check right now. Like the thing is, he did step up. He is fighting somebody who, like, I'm like, okay, like for your sixth fight, that's impressive. Like, no, I don't. Yeah, he's 6-0 with 5 knockouts. I was right. Yeah, the guy was 28-2-1. yo, yo, you fighting somebody with 31 fights and you only got five? That's impressive, man. That's impressive. And you knocked him out. I mean, you scored the stoppage. And again, it was a quick stoppage, but he was getting that stoppage. That dude Fox ain't have nothing in him left. But yeah, yo, like that's impressive, man. That's impressive for me. Like, hold on, let me screen share you his record. So y'all can see like the level of competition more or less of that he's beaten, you know? All right, hold on. Let me show y'all. So pro debut, he fights somebody's 2-6. That's normal for anybody's pro debut. Yo, second fight, 15-6-2. That's a big. And then look, in his third fight, he has a 12-round fight against a guy who's 22-0-1. Next guy's 26-3-1. The next guy's an undefeated 12-0 and knocks him out in the first round. And then the next guy's 28-2-1. Yo, bro, he's stepping up. What are you talking about? He's already been stepped up. Now, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get where you going with that one. Sorry, little bro. He's better than Belanga. Edgar good, but I think David has more hunger. I agree. And also, I worry about Edgar's chin, man. Seen him on the ground a little too many times, you know? Wait, you right, bro. They also said he dropped Demetrius Andrade. Whoa. Wait, in the amateurs or in sparring? I'm pretty sure you talk about and you talk about David Morrell Jr., right? I'm asking. I don't know. But yeah. Um oh yeah, I'm pretty sure you are. You saying I'm right about he's already been stepped up. Yeah, I don't know where he goes from here. Let me see who should he fight next? I don't even know. I don't even know. Let's look at who's in the super middleweight division. Let me look. Let me have y'all look with me. And if y'all see somebody, just type it in the chat and I'll talk. I'll put y'all on the screen. All right. So right now he is ranked. David Morrell on BoxRec is ranked number 26 in BoxRec. This is just BoxRec, not my rankings or anything like that. Trying to see if anybody. Who's this Russian? Yevgeny Shevchenko. Who's ahead of him? Oh man, there you go. The guy's 31. Man, this guy ain't fucking with David Morrell. He hasn't beaten anybody. Like he has no Olympic medals or anything to worry about. Most of his fights in Germany. Right here. Put him in against his Russian. He's undefeated. It'd be a good name on his belt. But nah, they probably looking for money. So they probably gonna put him in against a Gabe Rosado or something. Which is not a bad fight. There you go. That's another good fight. That's another good fight. I would say John Ryder. But there's heavy rumors that he's gonna fight Daniel Jacobs in London. So there goes that. But yeah, he could either fight Gabe Rosado next, Yevgeny Shevchenko, who I talked about. Let's see who's this. Who's Petra Inovov? Again, he hasn't beaten nobody. Most of his fights either in the Ukraine or Germany. Let's see. No medals, no nothing. What's his age? 25. Nah, you might not want to fuck with a young guy. You never know how hungry he is. Oh, Isaac Chalemba? There you go. Isaac Chalemba's a good fighter too. All right, enough of that. But yeah, those are all potential fights for him. All potential fights. Oh, yo, Fox dropped Andrade and sparring. That's crazy. Oh, when they fought, I must have missed that fight. I don't know. Yeah, I saw the fight. I saw the fight. Oh, you saying Richards versus David Morrell would be wow. Yo, Richards had a lot of skill, man. Yeah, you're right. Richards, I felt like he faded a little towards the end, which it's fine. You know what I'm saying? He's still a young guy, but that would be a good fight. But I, I don't, that's the zone and PBC. You know they don't work together. But nah, David Morrell versus Gabe Rosado. That's the fight I want to see. There you go. Either Gabe Rosado or that Russian dude, that 31-year-old, the one I found. The matchmakers better pay me though. If he fights either one of those two, they better fucking send me a check. Send it to Broadway Enterprises. I'm lying. That's not my company's name. Once y'all start sending shit over there and the fucking like, hey, we sent you the money. I'm like, hell no, like hit me in the DM. Let me know how you want to send me the money. It ain't about hold on. Man, Rosado got nothing for him. It ain't about having nothing for him. It's about that notoriety. Also, that Gabe Rosado is gonna give 100%. He's never been a quitter, and he's improved a lot. And I agree with you. I don't think that he beats Morel, but I don't think that Gabe Rosado is just somebody you just walk over. Nah, I don't think that at all. I don't think that at all. Gabe Rosado, man, just on the simple fact that I know he'll never quit, lets me know he always is gonna give you a fighting chance. Look, he scored that crazy one punch knockout. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that. The guy from Kazakhstan, y'all know who I'm talking about. He knocked him out cold, cold. You know what I'm saying? The guy just running in, boom. And I saw David Morrell a couple times running in as well. You don't think he could get timed? Like anybody could get timed. Manny Pacquiao, one of the greatest of all time, got timed by Juan Manuel Marquez and got punched with one punch knockout. Got knocked out with one punch. Like motherfuckers get clipped all the time. And so true, Gabe never quits, but it's like, damn, man, 14 losses just makes me think if dudes are still gonna be interested in fighting him. Yeah, bro, he's somebody that it doesn't matter about his record. He's somebody that he's like a Chisora. He's our Chisora. Chisora gets a fucking just got to fight two fights against a former world champion back to back. This motherfucker has like again 15 losses like that. And we can't. Our guys Gabe Rosado. No matter how much he loses, I don't mind seeing him on my TV screen. Same thing with Mickey Ward. Same thing with Emmanuel Augustus. It's just every now and then there's a journeyman who becomes a fan favorite. It may be because of his style, or maybe because of his personality, but that's just the way boxing is. Like Hank Lundy, I love seeing Hank Lundy. Now, is Hank Lundy a world champion? Gonna be a world? He's never gonna be a world champion, but I like seeing him. Same thing with Gabe Rosado. He's never gonna be a world champion, but I like seeing him. And guess what? Jake Paul is never gonna be a world champion, but there's people out there who like seeing him. He scored a one punch fucking knockout against an elite athlete from another sport in boxing. And you can't say, oh, why do you fight another boxer? Well, he's not a real boxer himself. And he was trying to, and Tommy Fury pulled out. Yo, you gotta give a guy credit for scoring these knockouts, man. Yo, when people score knockouts, man, I respect it. If he was out there, just winning on technicality and fucking and these boring decisions and all this bullshit, they're showing no skill, just holding and landing one good punch and then holding again. Like I would be like, ah, fuck this dude. But he's out here putting people out and got motherfuckers up at 2 in the morning listening to me talk about Jake Paul knocking out dudes. Like, give that dude respect, man. Knockouts have to always be respected. Yeah, man. But Nah, man, I'm enjoying this conversation. By the way, shout out to you. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Michael Blanc, Jody. But yo, ask me some questions, fellas. Call in. If not, I'm gonna end this. I'm gonna end this soon. If you're not, if you're tired of hearing me. But yeah, nah, man. Tonight, fun night of boxing, man. Yo, literally, I watched boxing all fucking day today. That's all I did. I didn't do anything else. Like I just watched boxing. When I was and when I had to do shit, I had it on my phone, so I wasn't missing around. Again, I missed a couple fights because I had to just run around, do shit, so, you know. But for the most part, I saw every fight I really, really wanted to see. I saw, I really wanted to see. And also, my brother's a big boxing fan in terms of the art of it, in terms of watching it, but in terms of following, like, who's the WBC champion, who's the this, who's that. My brother's like, nah, just let me know when you want me to see a fight or when there's a good fight. So he has a really good eye for talent. I had him watch David Morrel, and he came away like, oh no, he's a good fighter, but like I don't think he's gonna be like somebody like how they trying to make him out to be. Like he's gonna be the only person who could possibly beat Canelo. Is like he's not that, but he is a good fighter. But he's only 23, so he has time to develop, And with his amateur background, now he's training with Ronnie Shields, you know. You seen Jose Valenzuela on the undercard? He looked really good. Yeah, man. Yo, man. I tweeted today. I was like, yo, if this Jose Valenzuela and Rayo becomes like a real thing, that could be a problem, man. That's the lightweight division. It's already steaming hot. You got Ryan Garcia. I always go through it. Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Javante Davis, Lomachenko, Cambosos, and then if this Jose Valenzuela becomes like a real guy, that's a sixth guy. You know what I'm saying? He's still young. I don't know how many fights he got. If I'm not mistaken, he doesn't have a whole lot of fights, but you know, Teofimo became, uh, he beat Lomachenko with only 15 fights. Like, I don't just because he has 11 fights. Just because somebody just got 11 fights, don't mean he can't fuck somebody up like who's actively a world champion. Let's see. Hold on 1 second. See who he's beat. Oh man, he's beat a bunch of real journeymen. All right, 12-3, 22-3. All right, 4. So he just started stepping up. But hey, he's getting knockouts, man. Again, he had the decision against this guy, Dainier Barrio, who's never been stopped. Who's never been stopped, has 4 losses. So somebody probably with a really, really good chin. I don't remember seeing that fight. And then he knocked out this 23, 12-3 guy and gave him his only knockout. So somebody with a good chin and not so only got to knock him out. Let me see, Dule. He's been stopped before, but he also stopped him. So yeah, if this kid could become a real player in the lightweight division, that would be so great for the sport. Because as Tio leaves, now we got another one, and this time he's on the PBC side, so we can maybe see him with Tank. It won't be like that whole promotional bullshit. Once this kid becomes a star, they'll be like, all right, put Tank in with him. See what I'm saying? So I hope he becomes like the real deal, man. I guess Brandon Figueroa moved up because he's now number 2 in the WBA at 126. Well, it did move up. That I can confirm to you. He after the fight, he said he wanted a rematch against Stephen Fulton, but he can't make the weight, so he's not willing to do the rematch unless it's at 126 and this and so he's like, um, yeah. So he, as far as him being number 2 in the WBA, I mean the WBA be on some funny shit. Anything, the Nesta Gibbs from the Boxing Voice always says that the WBA stands for what benefits Al. So it's like what benefits Al Heyman. And Brandon Figueroa is a Al Heyman fighter, so I guess that benefits Al. What did you think of Jake being gases early on? Oh, being gassed early on. Stamina looks like a problem. Yeah, I mean that guy. I don't know. I don't like. He's lucky it was with somebody who was not necessarily a skilled boxer. Like if he fights Anderson Silva, put it like this: like he would not. Anderson Silva would have knocked him out. And I'm being honest. That's a real take. I'm not being funny. I'm not doing this for views and nothing like that. Anderson Silva has enough boxing skills that if you gas out in the second round, you're getting knocked out. And but hopefully Jake can learn from this experience and maybe run a little bit more, maybe sleep in those hyperbaric chambers or spar more rounds, or I don't know, but he that it needs to be rectified, man. He needs a strength and conditioning coach. I'm sure he's doing all the running and punching the bag and sparring, which he don't know. He may be doing too much. I don't know. He may be doing too much. That the strength and conditioning coach will go, whoa, whoa, whoa. You can't do all that in one day. Let's break it up. And he may be doing too little. Like, wait a minute. You do all of this, but you don't do pull-ups and you don't do push-ups. Or, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a fitness coach, but he definitely had a problem with that stamina. And only a fitness coach, a nutritionist, dietitian, whatever, and maybe having a personal chef. Maybe he's eating wrong. I don't know. But point is like a lot of these boxers invest in their bodies. So like LeBron James, I read I think somebody told me that he spends $1 million in trainers, chefs, nutritionists, doctor visits, and all this. So it's like he really takes his body serious. So if Jake Paul's doing dumb shit outside of the ring, he needs to get with a team that is gonna smarten him up. It's like that when you got that kind of money that he's making, that's how you rectify shit. You throw money at it. Yo, my problems is the stamina. Yo, who's the best? Yo, Alex Ariza, come train me. You're gonna train my physical. Yo, my defensive problem. Yo, who's the best defensive coach? You know what I'm saying? That's it. And then, do it like that. That's the way I would do it if I had that kind of money. But and honestly, getting gassed is the most dangerous thing you could do in a boxing ring. It's more dangerous than keeping your hands down. You can keep your hands down the whole 12 rounds and use your head and try to duck and dodge. You know what I'm saying? And at least try and maybe get a win. You being gassed is impossible for you to get a win. It's impossible for you to defend yourself, for you to muster enough courage to knock somebody out, to throw a combination, to counter. When you're tired, all you want to do is rest. Like there's a saying, is like fatigue makes cowards out of all of us. It's like a lot of times when you see fighters quit, it'd be like, yo, they're not quitting because the guy's beating them up and they're not tough enough. Sometimes they quit because they're too tired to continue. And if Jake Paul can't continue, can't gets gas, it's not gonna be good for him. I knew Woodley was going to lose when he accepted that Rolex. I didn't even know Jake Paul gave him a Rolex, but I don't give a fuck who's giving me. I'm not gonna say that, but for the most part, if anybody's willing to give me a Rolex, I'm taking it. And if I was in his position, I might have took it too. I'm gonna be like, you know what? Give me that. Yeah. But Jake Paul's a gangster. He put it on the clause that if Tyrone Woodley knocks him out, he's gonna give him an extra 500,000. And then he knocks him out. That's how confident he was gonna get the knockout. Yo, that's gangster, man. That's real gangster. But all right, guys, I actually have to pee and it's getting real late out here, man. But I appreciate y'all showing up, man. Hit that like button on the way out. Subscribe if you haven't already. I talk a lot of boxing, man, and I go live more often. I'm trying to do this more often. But all right, guys, peace.